What's going on, guys? Jesse here with CardLines.com, and you're back for another weekly recap. We have all kinds of cool stuff to talk about this week. A record-breaking Honus Wagner card that was sold, a compilation of all the card porn scandals that we put together, some investment advice, some product previews, and more. Let's dive right in. So we covered 9 stories this week, and as always, I'm just going to give a high-level view of all of them. If I say something that piques your interest, please go to CardLines.com and read more. These are all great reads, and I just don't want to spend an hour and a half of your day talking about them. I'll just tease them, and you go do the follow-up and read on the website. To start, let's talk about the Honus Wagner T206 PSA Authentic card that just smashed some records. It sold for $1.9, almost $2 million. And this is significantly higher than the $500,000 mark this card held from 2018. So in just 5 years, it's almost 4x. This is a monster card. The previous owner of the card made the decision to get it restored, so you can see that it cleaned up some of the blemishes. Here's the before, here's the after. This card looks fantastic, and it was just, like I said, graded authentic. It's not even numerically graded. A 1.5 of this card sold for $3.7 million in October of last year, but this is the highest selling card that is the authentic grade, if we consider that a grade, that was marked authentic. This article not only celebrates the sell, but it also looks at the history of this card and why it has always been one of the cards vying for the record of most valuable sports card. So please give this a read. So now let's pivot from some awesome news to some negative news for the hobby. We broke down the endless scandals of card porn, and this is a mind-blowing article. I'm ready for 2 years from now. I'm going to be watching TV on my couch, and it's going to be the card porn scandal Netflix true crime series. There have been so many things. So we not only identified who card porn is, but we broke down all the different scandals. 2 weeks ago, we talked about how he had done the fake Michael Jordan jersey authentication, but there are a lot of other stuff that he's done too, such as a Fleer 1986 box he sold as a sealed box. He tried to scam Hoodies Collectibles, and we connected him to the scam via this video. There was also a Jordan jersey card scam and an RPA LeBron scam too. Give this article a read. It is very disappointing just how many things he's been involved with. Many negative things, I should say. He really was kind of a leech in the hobby. Now back to some more bright stuff. The Ultimate Guide to Prospect Cards in 2023 Bowman features our annual tier breakdown, and Nicole does a fantastic job. This article's been popping off this week. She breaks down all the different prospects, and it's tough because these guys 16, 17, 18-year-old kids that are coming in, you don't necessarily know who they are. At least I don't, and most baseball fans that I know don't necessarily follow the prospects, but she identifies exactly who you should chase. So there's multiple tiers. Tier 1, for example, is prospects worth ripping it for. And you can see the breakdown of who they are, where they're from, their background, that sort of stuff. There's Tier 2 prospects we're cautiously optimistic for. We do have a lot of appreciation for an expert like Nicole weighing in and bringing her insight to it. This has helped me a ton because I was looking at ripping a box and I have no idea who we're trying to pull. So that's cool. Thanks, Nicole. And speaking of player investments, we did 2 player investment articles this week. For one, we looked at Jason Dominguez, who just got called up for the Yankees. He hit a home run on his very first pitch and then subsequently has been injured, so he's out for a while. But he definitely belongs in the big leagues, and it was really cool to see him make that debut. So this article not only looks at who he is, but it talks about his top 10 rookie and prospect cards for investing. So we counted them all the way down from 10 to 1. I'm not going to show the top few. I want you to go check them out for yourself. And then we did the same thing with the guy who just grew up a little ways from me, Jackson Holliday, the #1 overall prospect. He's so fresh. He's just 19 right now, so he's so fresh he doesn't even have that many prospect cards. So there's only 5 cards in this one, but he is just flying up through the feeder system, and he's going to be in the big leagues possibly by the end of this year. We'll just kind of see what the Orioles' plan is for him. But we counted down from 5 to 1 the best holiday cards. So depending on what you're interested in, how much you believe in these prospects, and what your budget is, give this article a read and decide what you want to buy there. We also did an article about the basics of stamp collecting. This was a particularly enjoyable read to me. I had always thought stamp collecting was something for grandpas, and I was like, I left this article saying like, wow, I want to start my own stamp collection. It was really cool. Very cool stuff, very well written. I thought John did a fantastic job with this, and you guys need to give it a check too. It has everything from like tips for preserving stamps to what to look for, how to acquire them, and then just a history of stamp collections, and of course some numbers crunching about how much money you could make if you have a good stamp in your collection. So it was really cool. Nice historical piece, kind of an alternative piece, but we like to occasionally drop this sort of stuff on CardLines.com as, you know, little utility stuff. Give it a read, enjoy it, maybe start a new hobby, but keep coming back to CardLines.com, of course. We also did 2 product preview articles. This one's pretty optimistic. I think Shai was very generous with Mosaic. He called it a beloved brand for its colorful background and excellent chase inserts. I'll be honest, I don't like this one. It's, to me, Mosaic, it dropped in 2020 during the height of the pandemic sports card craziness. And I've always thought it was kind of like that 4th Optichrome product that nobody really asked for, but the Panini guys were sitting around and said, you know how we can make more money? We slough off an extra standalone brand that nobody actually wants. Let's do it. And then they went to press with Mosaic. I'm convinced that's how it happened. It actually started in 2016-17 as like this Prism offshoot, so you could get Prism Mosaic, and it had 8 to 10 cards, I don't remember exactly. But they had the unique Mosaic refractor that we're used to. But now we don't know exactly what Panini's future looks like, so this article is kind of a send-off saying, hey, if this is the last time we see Mosaic, here's where its place stands in the hobby, and Shai likes it a lot more than I do, so shout out to him for being so generous with this brand. And speaking of long-term investments, Flawless Football's coming back. It is the uber high-end of football card brands. As always, you get 1 pack of 10 cards in a $9,000 box, so you're paying about $1,000 per card. It's pretty crazy. This brand has this signature move it does every year. It asks collectors to choose between opening a box of cards or sending their firstborn to college. And for those who choose to open it, the cards inside can be they're pretty crazy. There's 1 to 2 gem cards per box on top of 6 autographs and 2 or 3 memorabilia. When I say gem card, they quite literally have a gem in them. There's ruby, sapphire, diamond, emerald, platinum. Some of these cards can be worth a lot, and some of them don't resell for nearly as much as you would think. But either way, Flawless is like the high-end brand. So much so that it even comes in a stainless steel briefcase. You don't even get a box, it just comes in a briefcase, so you can carry it around afterwards even if you strike out on cards completely. You have a $9,000 briefcase, really cool stuff. Finally, as always, we are giving away a box of cards. This week's a 2021-22 Prism Blaster Box Basketball. And all you have to do to be entered to win is just follow us on CardLines. At Instagram, it's card_lines. So I have a list of all of our followers. I'm going to export them. I'm going to move it here, and I'm going to randomize it 3 times. There's 1, here's 2, and then finally here is 3. The Cuban Lion. The Cuban Lion, congrats, you are our lucky winner this week. Everybody, thanks for watching this weekly recap. Come back for another one next week, and be sure to watch our other videos while you wait for our next great masterpiece. Appreciate it all, guys. Thank you for the support. Talk later.